Good morning, students. In yesterday's class, we started with the story Dr. Heidegger's Experiment by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Yesterday, I gave you two important aspects of the story. The first aspect was a description of the four important characters of the story, namely three gentlemen and a gentlewoman, Mr. Medbourne, Colonel Killigrew, Mr. Gascoigne, and the widow Wycherley. These four people, when the story begins, are old people, and all of them had some vices in the youth. Because of that, they were suffering in the present, that is, in their old age. Mr. Medbourne was a ruined businessman. Colonel Killigrew had indulged in a lot of vices, and now he was having all kinds of pain. He was having gout and all kinds of physical and mental trauma. Mr. Gascoigne was a ruined politician, and widow Wycherley, she had certain scandalous stories attached to herself, and that's why her present was not as good as it should have been. Now, all these four people have been called on by their common friend Dr. Heidegger, who is about to conduct an experiment in which he requires the assistance of all these four people. Before we take up the experiment in today's class, there is another aspect of the story, that is the description of the study of Dr. Heidegger, which in itself is a very unique place, sprinkled with dust, covered with cobwebs, a lot of books and folios, a closet in which there is the door of which is ajar, and inside hangs a skeleton, and it is believed by the people that the spirits of the doctor's deceased patients reside inside that closet. Then there is a bust of Hippocrates, whom doctor seems to be consulting every time he has some medical problem. On one side of the room, on one huge wall, is a large portrait of a woman in the faded silk and brocade, and this portrait is of the woman who happens to be the woman Dr. Heidegger was supposed to marry, but since she has some kind of a disorder, she consumes some prescription of her lover, that is Dr. Heidegger, and dies on the day of the wedding. Then there is a very interesting thing in the study, that is a huge ponderous book which is called the Book of Magic. And it is believed that once a maid, when she was cleaning the whole place, she just tried to lift that book to remove the dust. And when she tried to lift that book and she tried to open and fiddle with the book, the skeleton in the closet started rattling. The lady in the picture on the wall, she put a step forward, and the bust of the Hippocrates say, "For we are stopped." Now, after taking the description of the four people who are invited for the experiment and the description of the study, now we come to what the experiment is. When these four people are called to the study of Dr. Heidegger, as they have known each other for quite a long time, they assume that probably the doctor is wanting to conduct some kind of a unique and a stupid experiment which he generally indulges into, and that's why he has required the assistance of these four people. Stupid experiments may imply that he was, calling people to watch cobwebs under a microscope or to see a mouse suffocate in a vacuum pump. So when these four people, they arrive in the study of Dr. Heidegger, they have come with the fact that probably this is some kind of a stupid thing that's going to happen before them. Now when the experiment begins, Dr. Heidegger gives a demonstration. He picks up a rose which has been put into a book for the last 50 years, which is completely dry and shriveled and on the verge of withering. He picks up that rose from the book, and gently he dips that rose into the vase which has the liquid which is placed on the table in front of all those four people sitting around it. All the four people, they're just looking at it, they're not hoping for any miracle. But what the miracle is, as the moment the rose is dipped into the vase which is full of that magical liquid, the rose starts getting fresh again. Slowly and slowly, as it absorbs the water into the vase, it starts turning the same rose that must have bloomed some 50 years back. Now all the four people, when they witness this phenomena, they are surprised, they are flabbergasted, because something like this can happen. This is beyond their comprehension. Now they look at it and then they say to Dr. Heidegger that is it a kind of a delusion, or is it the fact? Dr. Heidegger says that yes, this is the fact. The flower vase because of the magical qualities of the liquid that is inside the vase. This flower has assumed the same shape and the color and the same form which it had once bloomed into. Now the experiment is that all these four old people would be given the magical liquid from the vase, and they will undergo a return journey, that is, they will go back to their youth when they keep on consuming the water from the vase. But before Dr. Heidegger tells them that I am going to conduct this experiment and I am going to see what the results are as you go back to your youth again, I have a request to all the four people. And the request that he puts to all the four people is that I repeat that when you are again passing through your youth, when you are again getting young, I do not want you to repeat the same mistakes that you had committed once. The interesting part of Hawthorne's story is the expression and the language that he employs in giving the sentiments of all these four people. All these four people are so much taken in, so much excited with the whole prospect. They do not give any attention to what Dr. Heidegger has to say. They say, yes, 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 we are going to follow. Please give us the magical liquid quickly. Now the four champagne glasses are placed before these people, and the liquid is poured into those glasses. All of them take that liquid very eagerly, very quickly, and as 2 or 3 glasses it goes down the throat of these four people, the transformation occurs in these people. The grey turns into black, the wrinkled face turns into smooth, and very beautifully Hawthorne has narrated the portrait of Widow Wycherley, that as she is going back to her youth, she realizes, she looks at her hands and she goes to the mirror just to peep and to see that where the wrinkles have disappeared, and she is so much happy with the fact that she realizes that there are no more wrinkles. And when she realizes that there are no more wrinkles, she just removes the cap also which she has been wearing to hide the greyness. And the transformation that takes place in these four people, it is not only the physical transformation that takes place, it is their attitude also which also changes when they go back to their youth again. Widow Wycherley, she starts adjusting her clothes. She looks into the mirror as if again believing that she has grown young again. And then, I'll read out a few lines from the text. "My dear widow, you are charming," cried Colonel Killigrew, whose eyes had been fixed upon her face while the shadows of age were flitting from it like darkness from the crimson daybreak. So the moment these all four people turn back to young again, the transformation that is taking place, and we all know, we have talked about in yesterday's class, that it is believed that all these three men were once upon a time too much in love with this lady, and so much so in love with the lady that they were on the verge of cutting each other's throat for this particular woman. Now when she becomes young again, the first compliment that she receives is from Colonel Killigrew, and she says that you are very charming. And the writer writes, "The fair widow," the beautiful widow. Oh, what a contrasting words, what a play upon words. Because later on Hawthorne says that if such a beautiful woman can be called a widow, that's very paradoxical. And then widow knew that Colonel Killigrew's, these compliments were not always true. So she goes to the mirror to look at herself. And then she realizes, yes, she's getting young again. Now, the interesting part of the story is that when they are gulping down the water from the glasses, they are going back to their young age again. And when they are getting young again, all of them indulge into a kind of a dance. These four people, the three men and a woman, all of them entangled, their hands wrapped around each other's waist, and they start dancing and jumping as if they have become young again. And when they are dancing together, all the four people holding to each other tightly, even at this time Hawthorne mentions that these three men, they are still trying to wrestle with each other to take the maximum attention of the widow Wycherley. And when they are happily hopping and jumping, assuming that they have become young again, the mirror which is there in this, Dr. Heidegger's place, it seems to reflect that 4 skinny old people are dancing and 3 old skinny men are trying to grab the attention of a woman who's equally skinny and old. And when they are dancing, they just believe that they have grown young again, and then they mock at Dr. Heidegger and say, "Oh dear doctor, come and dance with us." One of them, impersonates like the doctor with a limp, and they just seem to ignore the present state of their own, the old age they had once passed. The delusion that they are having is that they have gone young again has taken all over their mind, and they have forgotten what their age is. Dr. Heidegger is very much surprised by their behavior, because he instructed them not to be wild, not to do the same mistakes, but they still keep on indulging into those mistakes again and again, entering into all kind of frivolities, making fun, mocking fun. So when they're all dancing and jumping and trying to eye each other, trying to pull each other, suddenly with this thrust, the vase which is on the table, it breaks, it shatters, and all the liquid which was supposed to be there in that vase spills on the ground, and these 4 people have been left with no water to drink. And when there is no water to drink, the impact of the water evaporates. Slowly and slowly they start realizing that they are growing old again. The pain, the anxiety, the trauma which these people now have has been very beautiful rendered in the story when you read the text of the story, that these people, the joy and the happiness that they felt when getting young again from old to young, is the immediate effect that they now feel that they are burdened again, that they are now growing old again. And the rose which once was made blooming by Dr. Heidegger, because of the lack of water, it again starts getting shriveled and dry and getting back to the same position and same color and form as it was. But at the end of the story, these 4 people, they become old again, and they are not satisfied with this. They want that they should be young again. And then they assume and they believe that they are going to search in the fountain of the water of youth, which is going to keep them perennially young. This is how Hawthorne finishes the story, and he says that these 4 people remain incorrigible. They learn nothing from their past, and at the end they all wish to be young again, so that they could indulge into all these kinds of activities which they once did. So this much for the story for today's class. In tomorrow's class, we are going to take a recap of the whole story, and we are going to discuss the summary of the story. Thank you, students.